Hello, I'm Joshua of Milestone Play. I am a professional game master, and today we're getting barbaric. Get Barbaric is a Indie TTRPG Design challenge put together by Tales from Elsewhere and Odin's Key Gaming. The focus of the challenge is to have indie designers and developers interpret the eclectic archetype of the barbarian through their own systems or provide homebrew for existing systems. For our contribution, we're going to be focusing on the barbaric options of heroic potential. Heroic Potential is a deck-based fantasy RPG that focuses on advancement through story, making strong choices over lengthy preparation, and overall having an accelerating combat system. Now, if you enjoy what you see in this video, I encourage you to come back next week for its companion video, where we're going to delve deep into the character that I made for this video and the entire process it took to make them. For now, though, let's get on to the barbaric options. Here we have a sample barbarian for heroic potential. Looking across the trainings, we can see that we have some stereotyped outlanderish skills, experience in multiple harsh terrains, and even the wordsmith craft for making hunting traps. However, a lot of these options work just as well on a ranger, scout, yeoman, or druid. The character choices that are going to turn a wilderness survivor into the dauntless, unstoppable force on the battlefield that is the barbarian are going to come from our combat styles and our maneuvers. Let's look at combat styles first. Combat styles provide mechanics to the flavor behind our chosen weapons and armor. As a game that uses a deck of playing cards instead of polyhedral dice, we have the bonus of 3 out of 13 cards being face cards. When a character deals damage with a weapon that matches the fighting style they have, face cards activate our special technique. Thinking of our barbarian, 2 of the fighting styles that come to mind are brute force and cleaving. Both fighting styles evoke the idea of an immensely strong warrior standing in a sea of enemies, their weapon clobbering through the waves. The brute force fighting style lets us push our target 2 squares away whenever we draw a face card. In heroic potential, positioning in battle matters because enemies can get free attacks on party members trying to use projectile weapons or arcana maneuvers. Even regular attacks are bad because we have to spend some of our action economy, our potential, to defend ourselves. A barbarian able to bash enemies away can buy party members space and time to act. Opposite of the tactics of brute force, cleaving wants us to get surrounded. The scything swings of a heavy blade can't be stopped by a single enemy. Each face card deals undefendable damage to all other enemies around us. Where brute force buys space, cleaving shortens the time all nearby creatures remain a threat. For this build, I went with cleaving to play into the image of the pharaoh warrior wading through blood, hitting any threat that steps too close. Like fighting styles, defense styles take a character's choice of armor and provides a tactical flavor beyond just having a bigger number. For barbarians, the stereotype is the raging berserker that feels no pain. Here, I picked a defense style that plays into that idea and another that subverts it. As we get barbaric, barbaric ferocity lives up to the very name of the challenge. Usable while wearing no armor or light armor, barbaric ferocity allows a character to take more damage to fuel them through the rest of the combat. Characters in heroic potential have 2 types of life, stamina and body. Stamina represents our ability to get out of the way or fight off attacks that would harm us. Once our stamina reaches 0, we start to take physical damage in the form of bruises, cuts, and sprains. At the end of a combat, all of our stamina is regained, while body is harder to heal. For barbaric ferocity, we can embrace a blow that damages our body to fuel our resolve further into the battle. This defense style is one meant to be used strategically. Rather than always using it, we should look for situations where the combination of stamina and defense actions could reduce incoming damage to only a few points of body to minimize the trade-off of getting stamina back mid-combat. Contrasting the self-destructive cycle of barbaric ferocity, we have the defense style Calm Amid the Chaos. Being most familiar with the frenzy of battle, the barbarian's mastery of the environment gives them the upper hand. As the barbarian dominates the battlefield, the terror of the hordes leads to futile feints and hesitation. Calm Amid the Chaos allows us to spend a positive condition called aggro to reduce incoming damage. Normally, aggro forces upcoming enemies to target the player with the highest aggro value. Rather than something negative, aggro allows players to deliberately direct enemy focus where they want. Characters can take options to help them gain aggro, or in the case of support characters like maestros, specifically give aggro to characters that they want to be targeted. I'm a big fan of this twist on the barbarian's presence on the battlefield, so we're going to take Calm Amid the Chaos. We're going to get an option to generate our own aggro with one of our 3 maneuvers. In combat, maneuvers are special actions that characters can take that are more expensive than general actions, but are also more powerful. A barbarian could make 2 strikes with each one doing 1 card draw of damage, or they could use their maneuver Loud and Proud. Loud and Proud does a total of draw 2 damage, so the same as the 2 strikes. And we get to gain 1 aggro. Our barbarian is now a large and intimidating presence on the battlefield, whose mere act of attacking draws attention towards them and away from the party's archer or mage. As they draw more enemies towards them, they're more likely to cleave through multiple enemies with their cleaving fighting style. We have built a small triangle of features that feed on each other to turn our barbarian into a meat grinder. There's just one major flaw in this circuit. Aggro doesn't help if a ghoul has already gotten to one of our friends across the battlefield. Our second maneuver will be an agility option called On the Run. This maneuver is great for chasing down enemies or getting to our allies. For the same amount of potential it would take us to move twice, we get to move twice and make a strike. Whether hounding enemies on the retreat, closing ground on enemy artillery, or beginning our own retreat with teeth, On the Run turns our bear of a barbarian into a panther capable of crossing the battlefield while remaining a threat. Our final maneuver both heightens our ferocity and inspires it in our allies. Battle Cry. All characters can use willpower to overcome negative conditions such as halted or hindered. Maneuvers such as Battle Cry allow us to heal stamina and gain momentum. Momentum is additional action economy that can only be used for its specific category. Our Barbarian's Battle Cry can rev themselves up, or it can inspire other party members to greater acts of physical violence. Remember that ghoul that got to the party mage before we could stop it? Rather than abandoning our current job to charge across the field, Battle Cry can heal the wizard up a bit and grant them a martial momentum to spend later in the combat. When the mage's turn comes, in addition to whatever they had planned for their own potential, they now have a martial momentum to get barbaric with us. While I started this character breakdown dismissing the exploration skills for our barbaric focus, I do want to give an honorable mention to our Outlander pathway. Both the Outlander and the journey test that it interacts with are a direct response to where I felt other games fell short. If you're interested in hearing more about it, check out the companion video to this one where we talk through this character's complete build process. For now, that is the end of this video, though we will have the companion video coming up next week. I want to thank the patrons on Patreon for helping support videos like these, as well as Tales from Elsewhere and Odin's Key Gaming for putting on this design challenge. If you haven't seen the other videos in the Get Barbaric challenge, you can find it with the hashtag GetBarbaric. If you're looking to join a game, you can jump down in the description of this video to get into the Discord. We have one-shots, campaigns, we have a 5e endless roguelite dungeon, the Tower of Taziok. We got a lot going on. So yeah, thank you for watching and have a lovely.